Did you know that Plato's real name wasn't Plato? You didn't know, right? His real name was Aristocles. Oh, he changed his name so that he wouldn't be confused with his disciple Aristotle. No. He was called Plato because of his broad shoulders. Awesome! But now seriously, Plato is not only famous for his body, but mainly by his thought. Socrates' disciple and Aristotle's teacher, Plato is a titan of thought who shaped, like few others, Western culture. He is one of the greatest philosophers of all time. From Plato, unlike the previous philosophers, we have a large amount of writings. So this means that we can finally study someone in detail. Gosh! But don't worry, in this video we will only present the most essential part of his thought. If you had to summarize Plato's thought in one sentence for your exam tomorrow, you will probably say that for Plato, reality has mainly two dimensions. We have the world that we perceive with the senses, with all the things that we can see and touch, and we have the world of ideas. No, wait! The world of ideas is not a wonderful world in which we enter by magic. It's not like Alice in Wonderland or Neverland. Ideas for Plato are the transcendent foundation of all reality. You know, Plato noticed the diversity and change in things. Everything in our experience changes. Leaves fall from the trees, animals are born and die, even we change. There are many types of trees, and yet we are able to realize that they are all trees, despite the differences. Difference, change, multiplicity, these are the characteristics that present the world of the senses. But Plato also realized that our knowledge seems to present opposite features. It seems to be universal, necessary, valid for everyone and always. How can this be? Plato says that we can only know if our mind is able to grasp something eternal and stable. Sensitive experience and the world itself are not justified without a reference to something that is durable. It's here that the ideas come in. The ideas! I get it! No, I don't get it. It is true that the word idea can be a little confusing, but Plato doesn't refer only to something we think, or the representation or a physical object. He says that the ideas are the foundation of reality. Without them, there wouldn't be any knowledge. In order to understand what man is, among people of different places, cultures, beliefs, we need more than sight. The senses capture the differences, but the intellect captures the unity, the intelligible aspect of them all. Their form is not the physical form, the silhouette or figure, but the intelligible form, captured with the intellect. The intellect is capable of finding among the vast multiplicity that the senses present to us, the one idea or form that makes us capture the sense and the meaning of everything. It's not the mind that creates the ideas, but rather the ideas that cause the reality and allow our existence and our knowledge. True knowledge is the knowledge of the idea. And knowing the idea, we know everything that depends on this idea. Take for example the beauty. There are many beautiful things in the world. Take for example a landscape, a sunset, a galloping horse, a Zidane's goal. Among these things, some are more or less beautiful, but none of them are perfection. We will never find beauty with our senses. There may be beauty contests, but the winner will never be beauty itself. However, we somehow know that there is perfection and beauty. If not, how could we judge if something is more or less beautiful? So we do have an idea of what the beauty is. And thanks to this idea is that we can judge if something is more or less beautiful. We can conclude, it's not the different things that we see that form in us the idea of beauty, but that beauty exists and is the cause of more or less beautiful things. When we perceive beautiful things, our intellect is not satisfied. It realizes that something is missing. That beauty is real, but it's not the beauty itself. And so, it begins an intellectual effort until arriving to the idea. The thought doesn't rest until it reaches something firm, a principle that doesn't depend on anything else. Because to know something truly means to know its cause. This changing world doesn't explain itself without a reference to a transcendent foundation. For Plato, it's with our body that we capture the sensitive stuff, but it's with our soul that we are able to grasp the non-sensitive, the ideas. If we can know something immaterial and eternal, Plato considers that our soul must have some connaturality with the ideas. Our soul will be different from the matter, indestructible, incorruptible, immortal. This way, Plato's thought carries on the philosophy of Socrates, giving it a metaphysical foundation based on the way things are. Socrates was convinced that the most important thing for a man was his soul. In fact, he died before opening the possibility of doing harm to his soul. And Plato justified this decision. Our soul is immortal, and therefore worth more than life in this world. And it is immortal because it can know what is eternal, the ideas. Knowing the ideas, the true essence of reality, we can also act according to what is best. Well, I won't deny that Plato's theory has some difficulties. He's been criticized in several points. One serious weak point is that Plato doesn't explain how the world of the ideas and the sensitive world relate with each other. However, Plato's genius is undeniable.
Turn down for what?
He gives an original answer to the most important philosophical problems. He rationally justifies reality and knowledge. He defends the theory of immortality of soul and proposes a foundation for ethics. For the first time, a reference to a transcendent and immaterial reality appears clearly and explicitly, and all of this thanks to Plato. Obviously, we cannot present Plato's thoughts in more detail. If you want to know more, you should read the articles we have prepared for you. You will find them on the description of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and were able to understand a little more about Plato's big figure. I hope to see you soon. Have a nice day.